Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend some time with us today. First thing this morning, before school or anything, we're milking Candy. We're still getting in routine. She's doing better every day. Sometimes, no matter how seasoned the milk cow, they've got to get back into their rhythm. And it took her a couple of days, but she's been doing really good the last few days. But my only problem I'm having is she don't want to come up here. So I'm probably going to have to go down to the bottom of the hill and catch her, which ain't a big deal. It's just a few more minutes. But on the plus side, at least I'm getting some walking in. So good job. Come on. Here, girl. Come on. Here. Come on. I'll take that. I'll take that. Good job. Good job. Good job, girl. This stuff's not easy. Good girl. Good job. Good girl. It's a good cow. It's a good cow. Good job. Good girl. Got that done. And real quick, before I head inside and start school for the day, I want to give y'all a quick calf update because they're both up, moving around. So I don't remember if we said or not, when we showed him. What y'all doing? Oh, I see what y'all are doing. He run y'all out, didn't he? I bet y'all are in there trying to steal his food. Here he comes. So, both calves are little bulls. They're both doing well. This little solid black one, he is wide open, and Candy is a helicopter mama. That's one reason it makes it kind of difficult at milking time, because he wants to be out here running around and all that stuff. Don't you? Yeah? He wants to be out here running around, and Mama worries herself to death, see? He's gonna try it on. Where are you going? There he goes. And then Belle, except for at nighttime, her and her baby stay down here. Hello. Hello. And then my sweet girl right here, she's done well after losing her calf. We let her grieve with it so she would understand, and she did. She did well with that. Her milk is already dried up. Milk is kind of a supply and demand kind of system. If there's no demand, then the body will not continue to make a supply. So she's doing just fine. And then we've got Miss Cookie up there, but she's still got a while, I'd say. This will be her first baby. That's Cookie right there. This little guy right here, though, he just cracks me up. He just cracked me up. And he's so pretty. He's got them big old eyes like his mama. Are you going after Tiger? And see, she follows him. She's like, don't run away. Tiger, I think he wants to play. Hey, Cookie. Hey, baby. She's gonna get you. But I've got a really busy day ahead of me today, and not getting nothing accomplished wandering around the cow pasture. Actually, like I am getting a little accomplished. Getting some fresh air. And some cow lovin's. Yeah. So unfortunately, both of these little bulls, we're gonna band them here in the next few days. They'll be steers. So in turn, here in a little over a year, that'll be our beef for next year. So that's just the cycle that it goes in.
All right. So after the last video of us pruning those trees, a whole lot of people mentioned that they sprayed their fruit trees with dormant spray. And I've never done that. And this year, I think I'm going to try to put a little bit more effort into actually getting some fruit. So I'm going to do that this time. Them apple trees are at the age where they should be bearing. I mean, they're not going to bear like a full-size tree, but they're old enough to start having fruit. And I think I'm going to do a better job about taking care of them. So I went and got me some dormant spray. Now, I used to work for a guy who had a huge farm, but in amongst that farm, he had like a couple acres of apple trees. And every year they would spray their trees with this dormant spray. Like I said, I've never done this. I just knew that he did it. And they'd always have apples. We'd ride over there and pick apples, I mean, till there was no end. I mean, he had loads of apples. So I'm going to try it this year and see what happens. And so what this does is, it's an oil, it's a horticultural oil, and it smothers or suffocates any eggs, insect eggs, or anything like that that may be, that overwintered on that tree. And it actually makes a lot of sense, because I know you can use all different types of oils and stuff for insect control, because it suffocates the insects, because the insects breathe through their skin, so to say. All right, now I've done read the label on this thing, but I want to make sure I'm right. Mix 3 tablespoons, 1.5 fluid ounces in 1 gallon of water. 1.5 fluid ounces. And this is a, what is this, a 2-gallon spray? So we need 3 ounces. And that would be this thing full. All right, I'm gonna fill that sprayer up full of water, and we'll go down here and take care of these trees real quick this morning.
I use these stainless steel funnel coffee filters, and they work like a charm, for me anyway. So then I just slowly pour it in there. So, I mean, I'm going to scratch what I said a while ago. I was thinking about it. I was not wasting time out in the cow pasture. There's a lot of peace, y'all, that can be found out in a cow pasture. I mean, it really is. Especially on a nice cool morning, birds singing, little calves out there, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So that's a 1/2 gallon there. I usually pour it in 1/2-gallon jars instead of, I do sometimes put in gallon jars if I run out of jars. But you want it to cool pretty quickly, and it'll cool a lot faster in these 1/2 gallons than in the big gallon jars. And plus, it's easier to pour, like if you're trying to pour you a glass of milk. It's kind of hard and cumbersome to pour it out of them big, heavy, gallon-sized jars. So I probably got 1 gallon and about 1 quart. So what I'm going to do, I could do a couple of different things. I could go ahead and pour this in a quart jar too, and set it in the fridge. But my kitty cats, they sure do enjoy it. So when I don't have enough to fill up or get close to filling up one of these 1/2 gallons, I give the rest of it to them. Or if I had pigs, I would share with them, and so on and so forth. But right now, the cats and Tiger, they really enjoy it.
So I'm gonna start out with the smallest of them right there and just work my way down through the orchard. I also want to mention that I know lots of people tend to frown on spraying anything, and that's okay. You know, you can do things however you want to do. I'm completely fine with however anybody wants to do something, because it's their stuff. They can do it like they want. But here's the way I look at it. I continue every year to put in the work on these trees, and the reward, of course I know they're still young, so obviously the reward's not going to be that big yet. But I want to make sure that they give me the best that they can. And if I can do just a little bit of preventative maintenance on some of that stuff, as far as insects and all that, I'm okay with it. And the truth is, if I go up to the local orchard and buy apples, which is what we normally do, they've been sprayed too. You know, so it's not like anything's any different, except they'll be coming from my trees being sprayed and not being sprayed at the local orchard. Hope that makes sense. Hope y'all understand what I'm getting at here. What I'm getting at pretty much is, I don't like to excessively spray stuff, but I will spray when necessary. And I feel like we're necessary now, because on them apple trees, we have had all types of insect issues. Now, for the fire blight, I'll be doing that later. I'm supposed to start spraying for fire blight as soon as the blossoms start budding out. Doing that this is something totally new to me too, but we started it last year and it seemed to work. But what I found was a product from Fertilome called Fire Blight Control. And I think it works. From all the reviews I read, everybody's talked about how good this stuff works. And from what I seen last year, my trees started coming out of having fire blight. It doesn't do away with the fire blight. It pretty much like controls it, I guess you would say. So if I were to quit treating my trees, most likely the fire blight issue will come back. So from reading the directions, you want to make sure you soak the branches. Make sure you soak them really good. And you want to do this on a day when the temperatures are going to be above 40 degrees. And I mean, we're above 40 degrees right now. And it's supposed to be that way all day long. I'm doing it in the morning so that it has time to dry before nightfall, because it is an oil. It's not a liquid, it's more like an oil. So essentially you're putting like a coating on that tree, and it is smothering any insect eggs or anything that may be on that tree. The old peach tree was somewhat of a challenge to get plumb up to the top of it, but I think I got it. Trying to do this without getting it all over myself. So you want to make sure you do it on a day when the wind is not blowing. And for right now, it's not blowing at all today. I'm definitely going to have to go mix up another tank. Back when we put in this orchard, we were just planting trees. Honestly, I never had no idea that fruit trees required the maintenance that they require to get fruit. Which I'm okay with that, because I love apples, I love peaches, I love about any kind of fruit there is. So I'm okay with having to put in extra work for it. I just wasn't aware of what it actually took to get a good harvest. But I do find it interesting that some varieties are different than others. Like, and what I mean by that is, there's an old house right up the road where there's an old apple tree, and nobody even does anything to that apple tree anymore, and it's loaded every year with apples. But then some varieties, it's like they just take so much work to get apples. Makes me wonder if somebody actually took care of that tree, what kind of harvest they'd get off of it. Well, I got every single apple tree sprayed, the peach trees, every fruit tree around here. The only thing I didn't spray was the figs, because I've never had any type of insect issues with the figs. I got a little bit left, so I'm gonna run up the road. Let me crank this thing. I'm gonna run up the road and spray. I'll spray those apple trees that are up there right fast. They're still pretty small, so what's left in that sprayer should be more than enough to do them. But I think in today's world, what's wrong with all these fruit trees and stuff, because you know, if you think way back when, like way back, they didn't have nothing to spray them with. I think the biggest problem with all this is, for whatever reason, in our modern mindsets, we have to plant everything together. So like, if I could have redone this orchard, I probably would have planted an apple tree, and then way over here somewhere else I planted another apple tree. Makes it less convenient on us. However, all of the insects and stuff and diseases and blights and all that, they just can't jump from one to the other. So, you know, if I was starting over and doing something different, I think I would have changed that about this. However, it is very convenient to have everything all in one spot. And I think that's why most people these days do stuff like that, because we're in a world of convenience. But when you look back at some of these old homesteads, old home places, you'll see like one apple tree or one peach tree. You don't see a whole field full of them. And I think that's why, part of the reason why they didn't really have that much trouble out of those trees. So for those of y'all who may have not been around long enough to remember, these are the apple trees that are up at our other place. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down through here. There is a persimmon right out there in the middle. It's a wild one that come up on its own, so I left it. This one right here is also a persimmon. However, a deer tore it up back in the fall, so not sure how well it'll end up doing this year. Then I have 2 more apples right there. This spot up here is actually a better suited spot for fruit trees because we're kind of high up on a ridge. There's a lot of good air circulation here. They get plenty of sunshine. Down at our house, those trees are planted down in a hole where it tends to stay a little damper, and it does get good airflow up there. However, it's just a damper hole. But at home, it's the only place we had that was vacant that apple trees could go. So I honestly suspect that if I can take care of these good enough, that these will in the long term be better trees than those at home. Challenge up here though is deer. The deer have been awful. I've got cages around each one of the apple trees to keep them from rubbing their horns on them. And not only that, any of the lower branches, the deer always just keep picked clean. So I had to plant bigger trees here to begin with to keep the deer from just mowing them off. But anyways, they've grown pretty good. They look all right, especially this one. I think they've been planted for 3 years now, and they look really nice. There's one right down there that the voles eat the roots off of, and it's been struggling. But this one looks nice. And that one, yeah, I don't know if y'all can tell it or not. I'm not gonna walk down there, but it's that one. It's real small. The voles eat the roots off of it one year, and it's just been struggling ever since. I'd kind of like to expand this little orchard right here. For what reason, I don't know. I really don't. We don't need it. We do not need it. We have plenty at home to do what we need to do, but I just love growing stuff. So I guess that would be my reason. This is my hobby, I guess you would say. So I don't know. I'm thinking about adding to this. We'll see how that goes. Well, next thing on the list is putting this cylinder back on. Cylinder's been rebuilt, brand new hoses laying there. Going back on the old 545. This may end up being somewhat of a challenge without an extra set of hands. Jacob and Maggie are doing school right now. But I think I can do it. Come on. There we go. All right. Wonder what the chances are that all my parts are still laying here. I would like to say, I know on that pruning video, after going back and watching it, I realized that I made it sound like it wasn't important to disinfect pruners when pruning trees. And it is very important. I didn't realize that I made it sound quite like that, but I did. It's actually very important to disinfect your pruners. I just chose not to do it. That was me being lazy. So don't be like me and don't be lazy. Disinfect your pruners. There we go. This job right here could be a little bit easier if I had the right set of pliers. I may have to go get the right set in order to put this back in there. Well, I finagled around with it and finally got that snap ring up in there without having the right set of pliers. Now we can put the hoses on. So both the hose place and the guy that rebuilt the cylinder give me new O-rings. So let's see. Yeah, he's got the new O-ring already in there. So we'll just put that hose back on. Don't want to crank it down too tight, but snug it. This one's already got a new O-ring in it. Put the new line. Now this is a new line here. This is one that I had made. So it's probably going to be a little tough to get lined up to begin with. Or maybe not. It's going to go easier than I thought. All right, put the other new hose on and we'll be able to try this thing out. All right, I got all the new hoses on, which I say all, it was just two. This hose and this hose. That cylinder's the one I had rebuilt. This cylinder right here was rebuilt prior to me buying the machine. So both of these cylinders, unless they messed up rebuilding them, should be good to go for quite a while. The only other two cylinders would be the lift cylinders. I may eventually have to have those rebuilt because I have noticed it's just a tad bit damp around the end of the cylinder, but for now, they'll be just fine. So y'all holler and tell me if you see any leaks. Hopefully this thing cranks. Oh yeah. Got to be the crankingest tractor I ever seen. What I want to pay attention for is to make sure those hoses, well first I'm going to have to bleed the air out of it. There it goes. Got to refill that cylinder back full of air, fluid. And it actually may be low on fluid. I should probably check that. Because we lost a lot when I pulled that out. But I want to make sure that those hoses, yeah, it's definitely low on fluid. Oh yeah. Well, luckily I'll be changing all the fluid here before long. But I just want to make sure those hoses are long enough, the new ones. They don't look like they move much, so I think they're just right. Well, it looks like that's fixed. Yeah, boy, we're definitely low on fluid, so I ain't gonna run it long because I don't want to hurt it. Let's see if I see any leaking going on around down here. Absolutely none. That's good. The only wetness you see right there is the little bit of grease the guy put on it when he rebuilt the cylinder. And that's what we're looking for. I don't see no wetness coming out around one of these hoses. That was already like that, but there's no new wetness there. Hoses look good. So, next thing obviously on the list will be servicing it. And I want to mention something about this tractor though. These tractors are unique compared to an ag tractor. And where I say this thing's low on hydraulic fluid, the hydraulic fluid that runs the loader system has absolutely nothing to do with the hydraulic fluid that's in the rear end of the tractor. That's a totally separate thing. These tractors here have a pump up front and a hydraulic reservoir right there in that front nose cone that actually operates the loader system for the tractor, which in turn gives this tractor way more lift capacity than a standard ag tractor like this. I don't know if y'all can see right there. See that drive shaft? That goes up and turns that hydraulic pump right there, and it spins off of the crankshaft. Pretty cool, unique design. Then your transmission on this tractor, instead of having a clutch, is actually driven by a torque converter like an automatic transmission in a car. You do still have gears, just like a regular gear drive tractor. You have forwards and reverse, just like a shuttle shift tractor would. But in the place of the clutch right there is a torque converter, which also makes this tractor very unique compared to an ag tractor, but also limits its ability in the ag world. My main purpose of this tractor is going to be nothing but loading and unloading hay. Like I told y'all before, I got a smoking deal on it. I could turn around and probably make a profit off of it right now. Actually, a pretty good profit if I wanted to, but I don't want to. The transmission style that it has is actually ideal for what I want. However, this is not the tractor you'd want to go out here and put a plow behind and sink it in the ground and plow a field. It just would not work good for that, and you may even potentially burn up the torque converter. I don't know how well it would hold up to something like that. I wouldn't want to do it. Well, here comes the fun part. Let's get all the tools up, and then I believe we're going to be doing more mechanic work. Jacob's carburetor gasket came in, so we're going to see if we can't get the carburetor put on back on his old Ford lawnmower. Well,
we got the carburetor and we're going to go put it on because we got the seal.
And you got the gasket in my pocket. We'll show you the lawnmower here in just a minute, but with the area that it's sitting in, it's going to be pretty difficult to actually film putting this thing on because it's hard enough for us to get in there. But once we get it put on, we'll film trying to crank it. It's this old girl right here, which is a LGT 145 Ford.
This was my first ever tractor I ever wanted because we used to go to a farm show. We still go to the farm show. We used to see like lawnmowers like made like tractors. We saw this one. We were riding around one day and we saw this one. I said, "Daddy, can we stop and get it?" And we got it for $400. And then we put the tractor tires on it and we put the exhaust on it. And then it's been sitting, and I mowed with it 1 year, then we got this one running.
Yeah, we got that one running. He started mowing with that one, and then that one right there kind of got neglected after that in turn, which it already had some carburetor issues, but hopefully we're going to have fixed. But anyways, it's not exactly the most popular style lawnmower. You don't see a lot of them. Since we bought this one, I have seen more. Maybe it's just because I'm paying attention, but you don't see a lot of them.
No, but I don't see a lot of them either. like on like a tractor house or something. I don't see a lot of these.
So I think somebody else might have the bug like I got of collecting stuff
Yeah.
that has engines on it.
I love collecting stuff that has it. Four wheelers, trucks. I like trucks and lawnmowers and tractors.
Hey, everybody's got to have a hobby, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna see if we can stick the carburetor on, because it's over there on that side and it's just really tight. So we're gonna get in there and get it put on, and then hopefully this John Deere will start. It's been a while since it was started, so hopefully
the
it'll
battery's
start.
not dead.
We can get it out of the way, and hopefully that one will crank now.
Yep.
Well, we're going to get the rest of our tools up. That took absolutely no time to put on. Very simple putting the carburetor on, ain't it, little man?
Yep.
Before we try to crank this one, we'll try to crank this other one first. Need to make sure we got gas in it.
I think it does.
Oh yeah, there's enough gas in there. Should crank it. Alright, hold to it just in case it rattles and falls off. Make sure I get this choke cable pulled. We'll squirt that cable with some WD-40 if it'll run. Hopefully we don't see any leaks.
Do you see anything?
Not yet. Wow.
Wow. And then lost it.
What do you think about that?
I don't know what I think about it. I just like that it's running.
I believe that's the best it's ever ran.
I think all along it was just the carburetor. It was stopped up.
Probably. Alright, let's see if this one cranks. Uh-oh. Well, that ain't good.
Might have run out of gas.
What happened? It was running so good. We'll check it. Let's get this John Deere out of the way so we can get to it. Hopefully it'll crank. It may be dead too. Come on, girl. There we go. See that? Cause your tires is flat on the front. Hey, just leave it running out there. Get back on that and try to fire it up. When we get it moved, we'll put the air filter back on it. Oh, I know what happened to it. We got some wires here. Just got a loose connection on them. We're gonna have to fix. Now try it.
Nothing.
Hold the key down. You might have to pull the choke back out.
I didn't push it in. I probably should have pushed it in.
Okay. Does it?
I remember every time I got done on mowing, I would be so excited I'd go like this.
I know one thing, it's loud. I have noticed since it warmed up, there is somewhat of a little bit of a flutter every so often in that carburetor, so I imagine I'll still have to do some fine tuning on the air fuel screw. But other than that, man, that thing's running like a champ. So he went inside to get his headphones, and I think he's aimed to ride. We got to put the hood back on, but we'll do that sometime or another. All right, girl. There you go. Well, you're not bad off, but you're shooting low. Right there's the new hole.
I told you my thing's low.
So Maggie has been after me for the last couple of days. This girl right here has become obsessed with hunting. She watches hunting shows on YouTube all the time. She watches Arms Family Homestead, and they hunt all the time. Like, she absolutely loves it. And she's been after me for the past, what, week or so, ain't she?
Mm-hmm.
Daddy, let's go shoot my 22. So finally, today, we're shooting the 22.
All right, no finger on the trigger till you're ready to shoot. Well, you didn't move. That was good.
You looked very still on that one.
That was good.
Let's go check it.
Okay.
We decided to do this down here at the creek garden because we got a good spot where there's no chance of us hitting anybody or hitting anything. Right there, Maggie. So you're still low.
But I still got a little bit higher.
Look how close your group is right there. I mean, you're right on top of them. So yeah, I think we'll see if I can adjust them sights.
And look how it's wearing off the paint.
Yeah, well, that's why I painted over top of all the old holes so we could see the new holes.
Right.
But it looks like I need to adjust on her sights just a little bit. Apparently she's shooting just a little low. I have to say, for an 8-year-old, she's pretty darn good with it. I think we're going to spend a little bit more time down here this morning. It's soon going to be lunchtime, so we'll be heading back to the house before too long. But
Yep.
going to let Maggie try to scratch this shooting itch.
She reminds me so much of me when I was little. I was the same way. Same way. Exact same way.
Was you?
Yeah.
I've always liked shooting,
Yep.
but I don't think I was ever quite as into it as she seems to be.
Horses and guns. She'll be the trick rider you see shooting the guns off the horses one day.
Yep. And
Be like John Wayne, won't you?
And Jacob's going to be into anything that's got an engine on it.
Yeah.
Kind of like somebody else I know.
Yep.
So,
But anyways, guys, I guess that's going to about wrap up today's video. I'm fixing to walk back to the house. I got ice cream going that's about done. I got a timer set on my phone. So
well,
lots of milk equals lots of ice cream.
me and Maggie will be up there shortly.
All right. But anyways, guys, we hope something in today's video made you smile and made your day. I know all y'all's kind words and comments and just watching the videos always brings a smile to our face. And we just appreciate each and every one of you. Until we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.
You nailed it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Look right there, y'all. That's awesome, Maggie. Give me 5. Good job. My goodness.
She's going to take them out, ain't you?
Yeah.
What do you say? You going to smoke you a deer?
Yeah.
That's her favorite thing to say.
I got Megalodon, which I wanted to get, and I got Max, because he had one-on-one.
She's already naming the deers around here. Each one of them has a specific name.